No
Gotta.
worries.
I guess this is the fallout of when you start to gain some traction. Your enemies come out of the woodwork, thinking that we're going to be afraid of some music in a Zoom.
Yeah, that makes sense now. Okay, so I'm saying on average you have 50 polls in a ward. If you have 25 teams of volunteers, each team consists of 2 people. They cover the ward, knock for you, represent you. They can cover a ward in a day, like let's say 4 to 6 hours. A poll. So let's say you need to knock on the poll multiple times to get your name noticed. So that's all you need. So if you have 25 teams, 50 volunteers, you can actually do it. You can knock at least twice. You don't need to be at each door, but you need your name to be repeated. Mm-hmm. And if you have fresh messaging, and one of the things we want to do is come up with the messaging together in a later opportunity if we want to have some sort of training for people who are seriously moving forward with it. From civic revival perspective, I'll share some of the expectations in terms of the personality of people who want to run. So because you still get, obviously we want people with character, which most of you are, people with integrity. I believe most of the people who are part of a movement against the popular choice have integrity. So I believe most of the people, other than the ones playing the music, have integrity. But other than that, there needs to be a degree of courage and expecting that you will be, you will be attacked, or somebody will try to challenge you, or some groups will try to, challenge you with words and stuff like that. And you need to be fast, eloquent with your talk, be able to articulate your thoughts, but also willing to speak of them, not just having the right values, but being able to and willing to express it. So this is very important. And also understanding that this is a spiritual war, in the foundation of it, like we all feel it's good versus evil. In our group, we have people from different faith groups, but we all understand this is a spiritual war. And if we don't get that right, we will never fight it right. And that's why we have to fight it with integrity. We have to speak the truth and continue to strengthen each other out. So like Rebecca mentioned, I did create a resource center on our website. I try to put some tips for people who want to run. I can, as I keep thinking and remembering things, I'll add them to the list. We also have the questionnaire just to understand your personality and give you the questions that some of them you will be asked in public. You could be asked in debates, or if you're just doing a media interview or just speaking on your social media. Some of those questions you're going to have answers to, but others just help us know the values and the issues that matter to you and where you stand on them.
Mm-hmm. And so, I did just put I just put the link to the Civic Revival site that Gada runs in the chat. And I also put the link to Elections Canada that kind of gives an overview on how to run. So that stuff is in the chat for you now. So
I forgot to mention one thing, actually. Municipal election is not only about mayor and council. And by the way, mayor and council, I have to address that. So sometimes you feel that you need to transform your city by changing your mayor. And in truth, changing the mayor is the hardest thing to do, because it costs you maybe the cost of changing 10 councillors or electing 10 councillors. It requires a huge budget, a huge media marketing campaign, and so on and so forth. It's not as feasible as you'd wish to be. But at the end, council, regardless of the number of people on council, the mayor has one vote and everybody else has one vote. Mm-hmm. So it's better to fight for a councillor's seat than for a mayor's seat, unless you have the perfect mayoral candidate. So that is that. But also there is, in the same election, there are regional councillors. Some cities elect regional councillors, and some cities appoint the winning counselors to become regional counselors. So it depends on the dynamic in your city. Plus, there's an election for school board trustees, who are the ones who are now making all the harm for not standing up for our children. So I think this is the election where trustees have to be fired and new trustees be elected who care about the children, who will stand up for what's right. There's always the public boards, the separate boards, and the French boards. So you're gonna have, I guess you're gonna have multiple spaces to fill. And there are cities or regions that are bigger than others. The school boards are bigger than others and become like a monster of a campaign. That's why we have a number of people who are focused on the GTA in particular, the PAFE group, if any of you heard about them. PAFE is Parent as First Educator, and they've been active since 2014. They've been trying to select counselors who care about the family. And there is recently I met the United Teachers of Ontario with Derry. Derry is joining us today. He founded United Teachers of Ontario. He could join us in a future session to talk about it. Today he's just here to say hi and to listen in.
Hi, Dario. You're muted.
So just to
Hello.
add,
there we go. Hi. Okay, Ashlyn, you've unmuted. Okay, Ashlyn.
Such humiliation.
Oh boy, the fun has started! Yay! Hi, Dario.
I was like,
one thing I wanted to add is a trustee position is, to my understanding, most of it or all of it is a part-time job. So you could be having another job next to being a trustee, whereas a counselor depends on the size of your city.
So Dario, I think if you wouldn't mind just doing a quick little, that is like kind of an overview perhaps of the trustees. I know there's a lot of parents on here, and Scott in particular. These trustees, the school board trustees, like to take it upon themselves to create policies that are frankly outside the jurisdiction. I'm going to tell you right now, anyone who unmutes himself, I'm just removing you. I'm not going to wait for you to play your crappy music. You're just going to get removed. And as you can see, I'm pretty darn quick at it. So Dario, I know there's a lot of people who are interested in learning more about the trustee process, and I feel like there's a lot. The time is now for people to take out the trash and get rid of the people who've been abusing the children, who've been abusing us in general. So maybe just give us a little bit of insight on that.
Sure, Rebecca, thank you. Appreciate that. Gather, you've been awesome. We've been recently having discussions with her and a few other people. So what we've done, United Teachers of Ontario really started as a grassroots movement, similar to everyone else, back in the fall. And so what we've done was, my wife's a elementary school teacher at TDSB, and she was obviously undergoing a lot of pressure and stress with all the mandates, imposing mandates at the time, and then obviously they were imposed. So what we decided to do was a few months ago try to put together an advisory team, which we have done at 3 different levels. There's internal, external, and a group that we've formed with Gather, sort of like we call that like our working group, and those are the people that we're to strategize with various other groups. So we have connected with others. 2 former trustees are on board with us, as well as Gada and Teresa. Gada had mentioned her as well. And there's a few other people that are networked with other teachers groups, like, for example, OEA. Some of you may have heard of them. And they're fantastic. So we're kind of collaborating with a group of other teachers and parent groups, and trying to formulate a strategy and bring people forward to push themselves towards becoming a candidate for a trustee in various areas. So we're right now in the process of kind of expanding our arms and bringing people in and working so we don't overlap so much with other groups and push the agenda forward. So God and I we're going to be doing a Zoom, just internal advisory group soon, hopefully within a few days to a week, and refine our strategy and then move forward. And we're happy to update you and others as we go along.
That sounds great. That sounds good. Thank you so much, Dario. Mike, I would love to hear, I'd love for you to say hello and let everyone know what you're doing over in Gananoque, and maybe a little bit about what your experience has been like, just to kind of let people know what's going on in these council sessions.
Council chambers. So we finally just got back to chambers actually this past Tuesday. Hi everyone. Yeah, Mike Kench. I'm a town councilor in the town of Gananoque, small town just east of Kingston. And basically, I am causing a lot of trouble for a lot of people, including myself, up these parts. The municipality I'm from is a small municipality, only 5,000. It's tiny, actually. It's a tiny little town. So my experience and my group, or my responsibility here, does look a lot different from some of the larger municipalities, like the Ottawas and Torontos. Got to explain a lot about the impact municipal councillors can have. Obviously the John Tories and the Jim Watsons of the world are going to be more political than a group in a small town of 5,000. So in our group of 6 councillors, you don't really find the big league politics at all. We're all cut from different cloths, and you wouldn't necessarily know which group we come from. I agree with God. Covered a lot of the stuff of why it's important that we take back our council positions at a municipal level. They are less political. I do think the impact is maybe more indirect than direct. In our experience here, we didn't have any influence on the mask mandate. That was all provincial, from what I understand. Of course, our local bylaw enforced. We part of the enforcement team, and I don't think there was much enforcement to be done in our area. But some of the impact that I think we did have a small win for our team. I think I spoke to you about this before, Rebecca, is that I had been very aggressive. Again, I'm in a small town. I didn't knock on any doors when I ran for council. It was fairly competitive, but I come from a big family. I grew up playing all the sports, coaching football and things like that. So I didn't knock on any doors. But I've been very vocal and very loud about my understanding of specifically.
Oh, I knew this person was going to be a problem just by the name. Just by the name.
That's good. It's okay. I got thick skin. I've been in the papers quite a bit around this area. I've had, I've walked the streets. I've held protests. The integrity commissioner has been after me twice recently. I just got off suspension. I was remanded 3 weeks ago. I was remanded again after being off a 90-day suspension. And a lot of it has to do with my COVID conversations with the group. So there isn't a lot in our small municipality directly we could impact as far as the rules and the laws of the land. One small win I mentioned last time you and I spoke was that because I was fairly vocal, my council colleagues were kind of sitting back and didn't want to engage me too aggressively on